I invite you to do a dutting here with me, step by step, so you can really understand how this method works. The first thing we need to do is a quantitative analysis regarding the expected value, whether there is a positive expected value or not for making this entry. The game I chose for us to work on together today is the match between Real Madrid and Monaco for the Champions League, which has about 34 minutes left to start off. As I start recording this video here with you, we come here to the scores section on cscore.com.br, select the game. In my case, it's already marked as a favorite, but if it's not, you go to the Champions League, look for it here, and click on it so it will show up. Within this scores section, we have the correct score option, and it will show us the scores, the most likely ones. A Real Madrid rout has a 59% chance, a high percentage for it to happen, but the tab that matters most to us is this expected value one. This is where we select the scores, possible outcomes that could happen, to determine if we actually have a positive expected value to make this Dutch or not. So I'm going to select the first 8 here, which is usually the maximum we go for. On rare occasions, we'll cover 9 or 10 score lines, which are situations where it's a very high scoring game and the payout is really good. And notice that we have an expected value, a positive 10.46% at this moment, to make this bet with 8 coverages in favor of Real Madrid. But when we go to the Dutton calculator and click here, it will tell us, with these 8 coverages, I'll give you a potential. Initial profit of 21.27%. If you haven't watched my free course yet on the platform, which is as good as a paid one, luisteratrader.com.br, I'll leave it here below. In the video description, the link to the platform. So you can watch the entire Dutching course and really learn how it's done. You'll notice that I aim for around 37% profit. It might be a little more, it might be a little less, but in the long run, we end up with a profit very close to 37%. So I'll need to give up on some score lines. Then comes the question, the doubt. Luis, should I give up on the 8th straight? On the 7th? What should I do? Well, it's a matter of analysis. They're in sequence, the 3-2 usually stands out a bit. If I were to leave out the 7, I'd run the risk of removing the 3-2 and keeping the 1-1. And normally, that's a more likely score to happen. But in this case, I'll only have 28%. So I'm going to remove the 1-1 to see how it looks. It'll be 39.96. Now that's good. And then comes a question. All the scores here in this specific case are in favor of Real Madrid except for the 3-2. And then the question is, Luis, wouldn't it make more sense to just do a straight back on Real Madrid? Well, let's analyze this together now. Let's go to the betting wallet. Let's take a look here at the Real Madrid game and see what the odds are. The lay on 2-3. Let's go to the exact score. And here is the 3-2 actually, right? 3-2 is at 22 to lay it. Law. Responsibility, let's set it to 100 to stay. Perfectly round, it's showing 4.76. How much is Beck worth? Real Madrid without a win? Check the match results on match odds. 1.33. So 1.33 plus 5 equals 1.38. It will be 38%. When the scoreboard shows us the exact number, it's 39. So it's worth it. Even so, it's still worth giving up the 3-2 mathematically to make this entry. Mathematically, it's already worth it. Sometimes, for other reasons and analysis, it's also worth it. Well, that means on the quantitative side, it passed. Now let's move on to the qualitative part. Let's take a look at the pre-sector of the 6 core. We go straight to the Real Madrid game and let's analyze the lineups. How is Real Madrid coming? Real Madrid is a bit worn out. Mbappé, Valverde, Vinicius Jr. and Tchouaméni are a bit fatigued and they're all starters. Carreras is not on the squad list, Militão is not on the squad list, Rudiger is not on the squad list, and Rodrigo is also not on the squad list. Camavinga is coming in, Mastuanoto as well, an Argentine who is a very good player. And what about Monaco? How are they coming? Monaco also has some significant absences here. Lineups, I like Real Madrid's starting 11. It seems that, in terms of lineups, they're pretty similar, with Monaco actually missing even more players. So I decide that it's a good bet to make. I'm going to use a smaller stake in this video, the stake I use for this type of method. It's 10% of my main stake, which is 1,000 Brazilian reals. But in this specific case, I'm going to use 100 Brazilian reals. So you can see that it's possible to use small amounts here as well. and that you can still work even with smaller stakes. So I'm going to do the 1.0. I've covered the 1-0. I'm going to cover the 2-0, the 2-1, the 3-0, the 3-1, and a Real Madrid thrashing. I go over to stake. I click here on stake, and I enter 100, and it already does the Dutching for me. I click calculate and place bets. It placed the bet. Look, it matched perfectly. Awesome. Everything we needed. And it's going to give us 39% here. Now all that's left is to wait for the game to start. As things happen, I'll come back here. And we'll talk about which moves we should or shouldn't make. As the game goes on, I thought it would take a bit longer to bring you guys an update. The lighting on my face is a little different now. I opened the curtain a bit, took the hang light out from in front of me, even though it's still daytime. 1-0, 4 minutes into the game, goal by Mbappe. And right now it's paying us 13%. It puts us in a very good position in this Dutching, since we don't have 1-1, but we do have 2-0 and 2-1. So, since Real Madrid scored early, it leaves room for another goal to be scored with plenty of time left in the game for that to happen. And we also have the possibility of a rout, so there's no problem with a goal coming so early. That's actually why we're in the positive. That's it. That's the update for now. If anything else important happens in the game, I'll come back here. And what we were hoping for just happened. Real Madrid has just scored the second goal. Once again by Mbappe, with a beautiful assist from Vinicius Jr. And right now it's paying off for us. A 19% return on our investment out of a potential 39%. 2-0 for Real Madrid. We're now in a very good position. We have the 2-1 and we also have the 3-0, 3-1 and a possible rout by Real Madrid. Now, already paying 20%. I'm staying in the market. I won't do anything yet. Look, 25%, 26%, that's good. Getting better and better. I won't make any moves. I'll keep watching the game. It's looking really good for us to try to go after that 39% here. Let's see. If there's any news, I'll come back here. Halftime between Real Madrid and Monaco. We're at 2-0. Still 2-0. This is practically one of the best scenarios we could have had in this first half. For our bet, 2-0, 3-0. Or even a rout would be a very comfortable scenario. Here it keeps hovering around 20-something%, and as the game goes on and no more goals are scored, our profit keeps increasing here. Remember, we have 2-1, 3-0, 3-1, and the rout. We keep doing nothing, just watching and waiting to see if we can reach that 39%. 3-0 Real Madrid, Franco Mastantuono, the Argentine. Now it's looking good, huh? Now it's really looking great. We have 3-1 and the rout. 52 minutes into the game, we keep going. We're still in the market. It's paying around 31%. The odds are still adjusting out of a possible 39. Let's go after it. If there's any news, I'll come back here. We're protected on both sides. 3-1 and a rout for Real Madrid. Guess what? 4-0 for Real Madrid. Now, an own goal, Vinicius Jr. went to cross and Thilo Kehrer scored an own goal trying to cut off Vinicius Jr.'s cross. 38%, paying almost the full amount. Why? Because 4-0 is considered a rout. In this case here, any other home win. It's none of the above scores, and Real Madrid is winning 4-0. For this rout not to be confirmed, Monaco needs to tie or turn the game around. At this point, that would mean making it 4-4 or 4-5. Something very unlikely to happen. That's why it's paying almost the full amount. I'm still in the market, obviously. 4-1, 4-2. If it gets to 4-3, then I might make a move. Now it's pretty calm, isn't it? Now it's pretty calm. Only one of those absurd things in football could change it now. To take this green away from us. But obviously it's our job to keep watching. Yeah, folks, our green is getting closer and closer. 5-0. Vinicius Jr. finally. His goal. That's great. The kid deserves it. 5-0, getting closer and closer. 63 minutes. Let's keep going. Goal by Monaco. Look at that. Monaco scored. 73 minutes. Jordan Thies. No, does this affect us? Hardly at all. Monaco would have to score 4 more goals now. 3 more, right? To start affecting us. 4 more would give us a red. We keep watching. The game still has about 16 and a half minutes of regular time left plus stoppage time. Let's see what happens until then. What a crazy game I picked. There are going to be a lot of cuts. This video here, man. 7 goals, 6-1 for Real Madrid. Goal by Jude Bellingham right now. But it's better to have a lot of cuts like this. And may it be a green game with good lessons rather than one with few cuts. And not something unhelpful, right? So, our Duddy of 39. About the stake amount, we'll be back soon to talk a bit more here. That's a wrap. 6-1 Real Madrid, 39%. Any other home win by a big margin, Real Madrid delivered. And that's it, folks. In a simple, easy way. This game, in fact, was really quite easy. We went for 39%. As I said at the beginning, I worked with a reduced stake. My usual stake for this method is 10% of the main one, which is 1,000 reais. I worked with 100 here, so you can see that it's possible to work with a small stake, a smaller stake as well for those who have smaller stakes. If you didn't catch the beginning of the video, go back and watch from the start to see how I analyze this game and learn it properly. How to approach dotting in a 3-1 scenario. Thanks, a big hug, and see you next time.